they'll use that little sophistry
The
to kind of
cliche.
win any argument, and
Yeah,
it's doesn't wash anymore. So
it's a cliche.
actually,
Yeah.
actually, here's my point of view. Sometimes correlation is plenty.
Don't want to brag, but I found the record button right away. Hi. I just want to apologize in advance because I am not at home in my usual bedroom corner of the room studio with a nice mic. I'm using earbuds, so the sound might go louder and quieter as I talk. I'm in our one and only fan's office. My brother Near here, I'll show you.
Is he watching live?
No, he said he was going to do a walk-in, but my sister came too because it's his 50th birthday.
She hates the show.
Yeah, so he came in. Said he was gonna walk in, but they went and took all the kids for a walk. See, look at this. Look
Oh,
at all this nerdness.
oh
Those are
wow, yeah.
all comic books.
Huh.
Yeah,
This
but
is a 50-year-old man, hey?
yeah, that's what
Says me.
happens.
Look at my place. It's worse.
That's what happens when you have disposable income because you have no kids. Which I don't
Oh,
know. I'm a little jealous. I'm jealous of his desk for sure. This thing is fucking so. What he like when he was working with someone, their ex gave him these three like fucking giant desks. They're like 2 inches thick of wood, and it's like here, I'll turn this thing off again so you can see it again. I'm so jealous of it. It's like the nicest desk ever. See, like, look how deep it is.
oh yeah.
That's all one desk.
Why has he got two monitors?
I don't know, to monitor two people.
What does he do?
He is I don't know if I should say.
Yeah, he
A
probably
lot,
shouldn't.
a lot of people get wiggity when you say what they do, but I guess I'm not even going to say his name or whatever. Anyways, so this desk, I was like looking at this, like when I was waiting for you because you were late, I was just feeling this desk and I was like, this thing is so nice. And you know what I'd come to the conclusion?
What?
Old man yelling at Clouddale, we move too much as people. As people, we move too much. So then when we have these 400-pound fucking nice desks, we get rid of them because they're too heavy and we get sick of moving them. But if
You
we
know,
never move, we get super sturdy, heavy furniture.
yeah, no, according to all the Hollywood movies I've seen, 200 years ago, wealthy people had very, very heavy furniture and very
Hmm.
comfortable looking furniture. And yeah,
Yeah.
but
And
but
it's
also
like,
they had gout and they died young.
I have
So
gout. I'm
considering the
probably
new
gonna die
smoke. Oh yeah,
young.
you have
Wait.
gout. It's so weird.
Yeah.
You and Henry VIII.
This is supposed to be a protective space. You're not supposed to fucking make fun of my medical shortcomings in life.
Well, you can make fun of mine.
Okay. I
Do
always
you
do.
know?
You're
Do you know what they
old.
are?
Yeah, you being old.
Yeah, exactly.
So my other like I don't know. I always think of like the stuff and I think of like jokes. So the like not funny punchline of my joke is back in the 50s when we thought people were fucking idiots because they said to hide under the desk for nuclear if a nuclear bomb dropped. It would have worked because we used to have nicer desks. This thing could stop a bomb.
Where do you stand on the whole thing? Are nuclear weapons real?
Yes, they're real.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
I just learned something about Nagasaki and the other one, fucking
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima. The reason, like, a lot of people are like, why wasn't Nagasaki and Hiroshima irradiated and all that stuff if it's radiation and it's a nuclear blah 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 blah. So that's one of the reasons that they say it's not real.
I thought they were irradiated, but okay.
And the reason is because they detonated those bombs in the air over the cities instead of letting them hit the ground and then blow them up. Because like you hear a lot of like parahistory podcasts talk about nuclear bombs not being real because they're like there should have been like a mile deep hole where Hiroshima and Nagasaki were, but there wasn't. It just burnt down the wood buildings, and it's because they detonated in the air.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, again, it's another one of those issues I find myself after many years. I'm quite old, as you know,
Hmm.
many years on this planet. And as my wife just pointed out, you get stupider and whiter. when you're a guy as you grow older.
Yeah, you do,
So I find
because
myself agnostic on so many things that
Adrian, I want to tell you a
hadn't
little
had
secret.
certainty about. What?
I want to tell you a little secret, Adrian.
Okay.
The true path to happiness is being dumber and whiter. See,
I disagree though.
you don't think being dumber makes you happier? I do.
I think like most things, there was a precious moment in time where being dumber and whiter worked for you.
Hmm.
But it's like anything. It's going to stop working after a while for a whole host of reasons. And I think that we've crossed the threshold. Now I think it's probably damaging to
Yeah.
be dumber and why I think it's time to start getting a little smarter again.
Oh, but being smarter is so much work.
Mm. And it's all hit and miss. I mean, I spent my whole life experiencing this odd tension where I think I'm very smart, but then I also think I'm really not at all.
Yeah.
So I'm always in conflict over it. And right now I can tell you, feeling very, very smart, also feeling very, very
Nice.
stupid.
Yeah. You know what
And,
my whole thing is?
and what?
Whenever I feel smart, I get scared. Like, the absolute last thing I want to be is the smartest person in the room, because I feel like I'm dumb as shit and I forget so much shit and I don't know a lot of stuff. Like, we're talking about nuclear bombs. I don't fucking know how they
We
work.
don't know. No, we don't know dick about shit. But
Yeah,
I
they
but I
like pull
guess
atoms apart, and then if I'm the smartest person in the room and everybody else is dumber than me, we're fucked.
but here's the thing. I think genuinely the smartest position that I've landed on at my age is that
Yeah.
and it's not even like an intellectual it's not something I can intellectualize. It's just
Hmm.
it's just a very, very strong feeling. But certainty really bothers me. When I
Oh
when
yeah.
I when I when I when I find someone who's evincing certainty about especially a topic that has no certainty around it, I get that's radioactive
There-
to me.
There's a lot of that going around right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
to be vague and non.
Well, where do people turn for their certainty? They will turn to their authorities and to the institutions that govern them or make important decisions in their lives.
Yeah.
And at minimum, you have to accept at this point that those authorities and institutions are, what are you fucking doing?
Sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. As I said, people who are just listening to this don't know what the fuck's going on. I've just been fidgeting like a 10-year-old, hanging out with my nephew who's 10, and I'm being him because, as I said, I'm in my brother's office, and even
Oh, you
though
said you had
his
no kids.
no, my nephew, my sister came down too. They all
Right.
went for a walk. But as I was saying, this desk is the nicest fucking desk ever. This chair, on the other hand, hurts. It's made for skinny people. I don't know if you've ever had this fat guy problem, but when you
Mm.
sit in something that's like, because there's this like thing where you get these like super nice chairs in cars or like office furniture when they're sculpted to hold your butt. But if you're like me and you have a fat butt and then your fucking thighs make your legs stick out, and then the like edges of the seat just stab into your butt.
Do you have a fat butt or do you just have a round and attractive bottom?
I don't have I have a no butt. I have a no butt on a fat body. The
Okay.
problem is I have fat thighs that push my legs apart. I am involuntarily man spreading.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I can't say I have had that problem, although, never say never. I'm just,
There's still time to get fat, Adrian. Join me.
well, I'm gaining weight as I grow older.
Hell yeah,
Well, I
you
stopped
are.
riding my bike. I decided to be a driver at the age of 57.
You decided to give your taint a break.
Pretty much. Yeah, yeah. That was just one of us, say a dozen or so things that were starting to break down.
Oh yeah. Bad for
Yeah,
your
from
hips too,
paint issues.
eventually. You
But
should get one of
but
those
also
recumbent bikes.
you think, yeah, you know why I can't. ride a recumbent bike is because I don't want it because I hate that name so much.
Yeah.
Re recumbent. And I see the people on my little island who ride recumbent bikes, and they're just detestable. I don't want to be like those guys.
Insufferable, aren't they?
Oh, they're horrible.
Like you see a guy on a recumbent bike and you're like, the last thing in my day I want to do is have any sort of talking
No, I
interaction
don't
with
want to
that
be in their
fellow.
community. I
That's
don't want to be
kind
in
of
their
what,
community because the next thing you know, you're on a recumbent bike and you're not
yeah,
dressed like them. Like even when I was riding a just a road bike,
yeah,
like a real actual bike from the past,
yeah,
and it was in Vancouver and everybody was into cycling and I was like, I'm not a cyclist.
yeah.
I'm a gentleman rider is how I would
Oh,
describe
I'm a
myself.
gentleman
And I would
rider.
put on some nice clothes. I wouldn't put on a
A
fucking lycra.
tweed jacket with leather elbows, Adrian?
Never, but I wouldn't say no.
And put some wax in your
No,
mustache?
that's hipster bullshit. That's millennial hipster bullshit. I'd never put wax on anything. Well,
Yeah.
but no, I would just wear some nice pants and a shirt and perhaps a trilby, and I would ride and get pulled over constantly by the cops they'd say, that's not a helmet, and I'd
They'd be
go,
like,
"Pardon me, sir, I believe that it is." I got into so many arguments with cops about what a helmet is.
oh my God. That just
And then
sounds,
one time, I got to tell you about this guy I worked with at the Georgia Strait. He
yeah.
blocked me on Twitter over COVID because he thinks I'm an anti-vaxxer.
Well, you are.
Well, I am now, I guess. It wasn't before, but not when he blocked me anyway. But I remember he came in one day. He used to get really mad at me because I never wore a helmet. And he walked up to my cubicle at the office one day and he says, I noticed you cycled into work again today without a helmet. And I'm like, first of all, I don't cycle, I ride. Secondly, I don't need a helmet. It's like, I think it's a bad law, is what I said. And I do think
Hmm.
it's a bad law. I think if you want to wear a helmet, wear a helmet. I think, well, this is what he said to me. He said, a lot of people at GF Strong who would disagree. Now, GF Strong, for our viewing audience, do you want to tell them you want to explain GF Strong to our
I'd
listeners?
love to, but I have no fucking idea what it is.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. I gather
Nice
it's,
Hail Mary, though. I
it's
caught
a,
that.
yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help you. I could Google it right now if you want.
I gather it's a place in the Vancouver area where people with catastrophic spinal injuries and head injuries would end up there, right? So paraplegic, quadriplegic people who are needed extreme care,
Oh, that's
and
what it is. Spinal cord injury recovery and rehabilitation center.
yeah. So he says to me, people at GF Strong would disagree. So I remember saying to him, I was like, because I was so sick of this stupid argument. I'm like, maybe I said, but you know what? You're more likely to have a catastrophic fall walking down the street or getting out of the bath. I mean, the numbers just don't bear out your argument,
Hmm.
and helmets have not made a dent really, so to speak, in these numbers. And there's the questions about helmets. I was like, I'm tired of this stupid argument. I mean, just you if you want to, do you think I should wear? Why don't drivers wear helmets? Why don't passengers in cars wear helmets? There's more people getting injured catastrophically in car accidents than there are on bikes. More people getting injured falling out of their bath, slipping on their bath. Like, why don't you wear a helmet all the time? And he's like, well, that's just stupid, and off he goes. Well, the next day, he doesn't come into work. I'm like, oh, interesting. He didn't come into work. The next day, he still doesn't come into. 3 days later, he finally walks into work, and it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. He walked in, and you remember in cartoons when like people would get like a tooth extraction or something, they would have like the
Yeah,
hanky tied around with like the rabbit ears, the knot on the
yeah.
top. He walked into the office with like this fucking getup on his head. And he walks straight to my cubicle and he goes like this. He goes, I suppose you think this is funny, don't you? And I'm like, well, yeah, I do, but what's going on? And he goes,
Who wouldn't, sir?
turns out the day that we had our final argument on the issue, guess what happened?
Oh my
He's
God, I can't wait.
walking out of Donald's Market on Hastings and Nanaimo, I think.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He fucking trips on a shoelace
Oh
and
my
breaks his
God.
jaw.
Fuck him.
Right?
uh, I was gonna give you a little anecdotal advice. If anybody ever argues about you wearing a bike helmet while you're riding a bike, and you just want them to leave you alone, and they bring up spinal cord injury, be like, the only like if I don't wear a helmet, I'm less likely to get a spinal cord injury because if I beanpole without a helmet, I'll probably die.
What's bean polling?
When you go over the handlebars and land like this,
Oh, that
like
must be a cycling term. I'm not a cyclist.
all mountain bikers do.
Ah, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll end up paralyzed. But if you don't wear a helmet, you won't get paralyzed because you'll be fucking dead.
I tell you
Problem
what,
solved.
I fell off my bike many times because I rode for a long time. It's only recently that I started driving a Subaru. Uh,
Mhm.
but I remember one time hitting a pothole near Granville. No, where was it? What's that? Granville Island. I've been out of Vancouver for like 10 years and I don't remember
Yeah.
the names of things anymore. So I hit a pothole. I gotta admit I'd had a couple too. I've been drinking. I hit a pothole and I beanpoled, but
There you go.
I landed on my elbow and like really fucked up my elbow. Like it was really bad and it bled prodigiously. And I still rode the 10 kilometers home. And when I got home, I was completely soaked in blood. I looked like Nick Cage at the end of Mandy.
Oh wow.
So I remember walking in, my son was only would have been like 5 years old, and he looked at me and he goes, "Why isn't Daddy dead?" So my wife, who I just had a big fight with, she goes, "Get in the car," and she drives me to VGH. And of course, I sit there for a day waiting for someone to come and get me. So then finally, this young, handsome doctor takes me into the emergency ward. He goes, and by now I'm blue because I've lost so much blood from my
Yeah.
elbow. And he goes, "So what happened?" And I went, "I fell off my bike." And he said, "Were you wearing a helmet?"
On my elbow, sir?
Well, exactly. I'm like, I didn't, I just looked at him and I went, "Well, I hurt my, like, no, I hurt my elbow." He goes, he goes, "You should really wear a helmet." I went, "I know, that's what I hear." He goes, I see a lot of injuries come through here." And I go, "Well, because you work in an ER." And he goes,
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
goes, "Good point." And then he stitched up my fucking
Yeah.
elbow.
It's like, hey, doctor, you see a whole bunch of people who ride their bikes and hit their heads because you know what? If they just wipe out and don't fuck up their elbow this bad, you won't see them. Idiot.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I didn't mention the million of gentlemen psych riders like myself who didn't
Yeah.
come into the hospital that
Were
day.
you, did you pull out my favorite? Be like, sir, correlation is not causation.
No, I didn't.
That's a
I
good way to
didn't.
start an argument. I love it.
It used to be, but I think that's another one of those terms that's been so abused and degraded recently, especially in the last 5 years. Everything's declined precipitously in the last 5 years. That now I've taken to calling some people correlation is not causation theorists because they'll use that somewhat they'll use that little sophistry
The
to kind of
cliche.
win any argument, and
Yeah.
it doesn't wash anymore. So
It's cliche. Yeah.
here's my point of view. Sometimes correlation is plenty. It's more than enough.
Yeah, sometimes it does causation. Sometimes it is, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah. Well, anyway,
I'm,
I couldn't prove it in court, but
dude, I am
yesterday
amped
was the
up.
anniversary of what would it be, the 58th anniversary of the killing of Robert Kennedy by a man named Thane Eugene Cesar, not Sirhan
Oh.
Sirhan, who's still in jail for this, but
Oh, I like this para-history take. Hit me with it. It's funny because you were like, you said Kennedy, and I was like, wasn't that 63? I was like, that's like not 58. And
I
then
said
I was like, oh, it's the other Kennedy, the one that's the non-sexy Kennedy assassination that we don't talk about because there's just some random dude in a
it.
kitchen.
No, you see, the thing is, it's actually sexier in a sense because it's so much more transparent, so much more obvious, and so much
Oh,
more
that's a good point.
sort of roundly proven. Like we know, like you can actually name the shooter in this case. And he lived to a ripe old age in the Philippines, protected by certain agencies.
Oh, would you like, okay, This is my favorite thing to do when we're talking about parahistory shit. And it's like you hear about this guy who killed Robert F. Kennedy and blamed Sirhan, and then he went and lived his life out in the Philippines. Is that a good life, do you think, in the
I think he had a
Philippines?
great life.
I mean, there's,
I think he was very well compensated for his work and
yeah.
protected, and probably got what he wanted out in the Philippines.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, on one hand, you think immediately, you're like, yeah, it's a paradise, it's tropical, all this stuff. But on the other hand, it's like you could get malaria, you could get diseases. It's not like
Well, you can
a
get
nice,
diseases anywhere.
bustling city. Yeah, but you could get tropical diseases
Look at,
up
listen to how
here.
you're just dismissing an entire nation. There's how many people in the Philippines who aren't getting malaria and diseases?
I'm not saying
You're like this young doctor I met once who asked me if I was wearing a helmet because of a fucking elbow injury.
well, the people in the Philippines have immune systems with built-in disease helmets that they don't get it. That's why if we travel to the Philippines, we have to get a whole bunch of vaccines for all these diseases we're gonna get, and people who live in the Philippines just don't.
I've been speaking of Kennedy.
Yeah.
This was fun. My daughter, 20 years old.
Wait. Sorry, I don't mean to step on your point, but going back to the Robert F. Kennedy
Sure.
assassination. You said a name that wasn't Sirhan. And this isn't actually a parahistory podcast, so people don't just get the shorthand and know this other guy you're talking about. So could you just give the people in the audience a short explanation of the guy who lived in the Philippines, of who he was and how he's the guy who killed Robert F. Kennedy?
Well, going from memory here, because it's something I was reading about a long time ago, but the information is readily available still. Thane
Don't make
Eugene,
us read. Don't make us read, Adrian. Just tell us.
Robert Kennedy was assigned a security detail at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles in 1968, June 1968, when he was about to. Basically, it was during the Democratic primaries, and he was going to be nominated as a presidential candidate. It was his final stop on his tour, and it was a big celebration. And as he was escorted off the stage and through the pantry of the Ambassador Hotel, he was shot in the back of the head by someone. Uh, but the man that was arrested, Sirhan, was shooting probably blanks, but he was shooting a gun about 6 feet in front of Kennedy. Um, But the bullet that killed him entered his head behind the right ear from about an inch away. And that was determined in the autopsy uh, by the LA County coroner, Thomas Noguchi. That's all on the record. The person that was standing there, the only person that could have done it, was this security guard who had been formerly worked for Lockheed Martin, and who else? And I think he was if it wasn't Wackenhut Security, it was another
Whacking
intelligence.
Hut?
Wackenhut. You never heard of Wackenhut?
That sounds like a Looney Tunes We Do Assassinations security team.
I know, and if you actually spend if you look into sort of intelligence work back in the day, they often they it's filled with things like that. They were not they were I think they were often taking the piss. But yeah,
Ah, that sounds like it.
Wackenhut was basically CIA. So where you get all sorts of parahistorical events. Another one would be Danny Casolaro and the whole octopus story, um,
Okay, you
which
can't
which I
just.
think Netflix covered. But anyway, Wackenhut was involved with that. I could be wrong about Thane Eugene Cesar, but he's working for a CIA affiliated security company, and he was given this position, basically the day before, and he was the killer. He was the killer. I mean, it's fucking obvious, and it's not like he denied it,
Mhm.
but he was allowed to get away. And Sirhan was arrested, and then there was a fake trial, and now he's still in jail. Sirhan was almost certainly mind controlled patsy, and this is where people jump off because it all seems so crazy. But no, it's real. It's very real. And poor old Sirhan is still in jail. And yeah, so that's who Thane Eugene Cesar is.
Thank you for that explanation.
Yeah,
You may
well,
now continue with your daughter's story.
well, the thing is, she's gotten into Star Wars because of her boyfriend.
Nice. Sounds like a cool
So
dude.
She told me that they just watched the
Wait, wait,
first
wait.
one.
Wait. I have a question that fuels my nerd rage. Is he a cool Star Wars fan or is he an original trilogy casual? Is he the fucking frat boy of Star Wars fans or is he a guy who enjoys the universe?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I mean, I've heard him defend some pretty lousy stuff.
Like anything that wasn't one of the first three movies?
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
no,
then he's a good
but you
one.
know, so he's been trying to get her into Star Wars for some time now, and
Oh yeah,
he
that's
succeeded through Andor, which I think is legitimate, you know.
yeah, that's one of the best low level sci-fi. Like it's not it's like a it's like
It's
a
really good
gateway
at
drug.
it's really good, and if you could just maybe, you know, edit out some of the Star Wars stuff, it would be magnificent. Like I find it,
Yeah.
I haven't watched the second one, but I remember in the first one finding it slightly funny that every so often they would have to pay a little lip service to Star
Yeah.
Wars and have some stupid puppet, but otherwise it was like this really good political thriller,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
it's a political thriller set against the stuff. The my one of the biggest problems with getting new people into Star Wars is all the tech looks fucking stupid because it was made in the 70s and it just looks like broken vacuum cleaners just glued to
Well,
people's
that's the best
bodies.
part of it, though.
I
That's where we
guess.
disagree. But I was so I asked her if she'd finally seen the thing, and the first one,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean they watched A New Hope, so it would be like the stupid version with all that fucking CGI bullshit in it.
Yeah.
But wait, by the way, they're bringing out the old one again, right? In a year,
Oh,
like
are they?
the original is being released next year.
That's gonna look so bad on modern screens.
It's not. It
Yeah, it
never
is.
did, and it's not. And you're just
It
crazy
will.
when you say things like this. This is why it makes me wonder why I'm on this podcast
You hate
sometimes.
me so much.
So, but you remember from, remember from A New Hope,
Yeah.
remember Porkins?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you would remember
The
because
fat
you
shit.
probably
Why would
relate.
I remember? What is
Well,
that? Is that a
because your
fat
little
joke?
Dale was like, "That's me."
I
You felt
wasn't fat as a
represented.
kid.
You
I didn't
felt
get fat
seen.
until I got my first desk job in my 20s.
Hashtag representation matters.
Hashtag Star Wars is fat shaming. It should be canceled.
So that guy
Porkins.
Porkins, that guy Porkins, who's just about
He's
before he dies,
fat.
he's
Let's make him a pig name.
I know it's called Porkins. And
Fucking, of course
there's
he
even more
dies.
weirdness around that because I guess in the original Porkins, just before he dies, Biggs on the intercom goes, eject, eject, which is silly because you can't eject a fucking guy into space.
That's
That's
true.
stupid. So so apparently at one point Lucas or whoever retconned it so that there's like, no, his name was Eject Porkins, and Biggs is just calling out his name. Okay, he was played by this guy William Hootkins, and you've seen him in a few movies. He's also at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's the guy who leans forward towards Indy and he goes, "Very important people," or whatever the line is. He always plays these. Anyway, he's Porkins. Listen to this. Hootkins was born on July 5th, 1948, in Dallas, Texas. He attended St. Mark's School of Texas from grade 1 through 12. At
Eyebrows are
age
up.
at age 15, Hootkins found himself caught up in the FBI's investigation into the assassination of John F. Kennedy when he was interviewed about Ruth Paine, his teacher. Marina Oswald, the Russian wife of Lee Harvey Oswald, and their children had been living with Paine in Irving, Texas. Cliff Shastine, who served as a hair cutter for Oswald, not a barber, but a hair cutter, said that once Oswald came with a boy of about 14 who did not get a haircut or say anything. Just a few days before the assassination, the boy came in on his own. He got a haircut and began an oratory on the benefits of one world government and the sorry plight of society's have-nots. Shastine was bewildered and asked how old he was, but the boy would not say his age or where he came from. Researcher Greg Parker later concluded from eyewitness descriptions that the boy was Hootkins.
That's so fucked. Dude, that there's so many people who had troubled past in their youths that just turned into actors. We were talking about it like either last episode or the one before, where the guy who was the actor, remember we were talking about him? He had just died. Um the guy that was the bad guy in the mask. Oh fuck, I can't remember his name. But he had this like weird past too at
Peter
the age of
Greene.
yes. What was his name again? Sorry.
Peter Greene.
Yeah, Peter Greene. So Peter Greene, I looked him up after we were talking about him, and he was homeless at 15, and then all of a sudden he's a super huge actor in his early 20s. So I was like, parahistory sense goes off. I'm like, what the fuck is happening to these 15-year-old kids? And then they're like, oh, don't worry. Hmm.
They are working for the other side. As much as I enjoy their work, some of it anyway. And Spielberg's got this new Disclosure Day movie
Oh,
coming
dude,
out.
I can't wait.
Interesting timing.
It's funny because it's so funny that it's coming out now because they just backed down off of this disclosure shit. Like they put out the initial videos and stuff, and I feel like it's the like Epstein thing where they released the first half and they're like, nah, fuck you, we're not doing it. I feel like they were gonna do this big disclosure day that was gonna coincide with Steven Spielberg's movie Disclosure Day, and then it just fucking they pulled back and it didn't happen. Or they Google hacked it, which is a thing you do when people are Googling something to learn about it. So you make something and name it the same thing so people can't look it up.
Yeah, right.
So like now, whenever
Keyword
anybody,
hijacking was the phrase that used to come up around that idea about 20 years ago.
yeah, there you go.
Courtesy of a crazy person who almost certainly was uh, an intelligence asset, um, who called himself Humanity Wins.
Oh my God.
He was really funny. He was
Yeah, with that name, you could
fascinating,
tell.
fascinating person with
Humanity.
incredibly elaborate and quite beguiling theories that you could easily dismiss, but not quite.
Was he the fucking Terry Pratchett of parahistory?
Kinda, kind of was. So anyway, if you've read the Tom O'Neill book Chaos about Manson,
If you
which is
haven't, read it.
yeah, so very, very important book, and I would say also something of a limited hangout, but very, very valuable nonetheless. And if you remember, he talks about an intelligence agent working inside Hollywood who had previously been, according to Chaos anyway, and according to a lot of people actually that were around at the time, a guy who's been airbrushed out of the whole Manson story. His name was Reeve Whitson, and he had presented himself as a hippie, and he was inside those circles, the sort of Polanski, Hollywood, Manson. All those people mingled. They were all friends. They all partied together. Um, Official history says that they didn't know each other, but they did. I mean, Manson was pimping out the girls to these people and selling them drugs, and it's all, whatever. But Reeve Whitson was inside that circle and allegedly was actually the first person to find the bodies of the Sharon Tate and Wojtek Frykowski and Sebring, all like the night of the murders. He was the first person on the scene. Allegedly, a lot of people knew this, but he was this. It turns who was the won the Academy Award for doing the effects on the original Star Wars. Richard Edlund, I think he did Alien. He's done very very big name, but he speaks quite casually about this guy who ended up becoming a pretty important fixer inside of Hollywood. He would get deals done and stuff. He's a name you don't know, and he was a spook, and he's working. He's working with the people who made Star Wars. This should not be a surprise. I think it is to most people. Like there's more of that going on in that town than we reckon.
Oh yeah.
But so then you get Hootkins. I mean, this maybe just be a coincidence, but it is odd that Porkins was questioned.
Yeah. That's crazy. And the
And Greg
funniest
Parker, I'm familiar with he's a researcher and he's a good one. Anyway,
the
go on.
funniest thing about this whole thing was this entire time you're doing all this big brain shit. And I am very impressed at how many names you remember. Like, you were talking about the RFK thing and you remembered the name of the guy, the fucking coroner and whatever. And I'm like, I'd never remember that. But the funniest thing is, the whole time you're talking about this, I'm just waiting for me to interject the point that William Hookins looks like a fat Richard Dreyfuss if you Google him. And so I'm just waiting there, and I was like, this is kind of funny, I'll say it. And then as you go on and you say all this smart shit about parahistory and you name all these names and stuff, I was like, this point is getting dumber the longer I wait to say it. But I still have to put it in there because he looks exactly like a fat Richard Dreyfuss.
He kind of does. He kind of does.
He's even wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
But do you remember him from the end of Raiders? He's one of the two
No.
government pork and they're just wheeling the
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
awesome.
and the way he leans forward and says, in a very somewhat threatening way, very important people or whatever. I mean, who was this Hootkins fellow anyway?
Yeah,
Who's
it's
Steven
crazy.
Spielberg?
That's true.
What is Spielberg is German for lookout. We all know about Lookout Mountain.
Oh man, greatest hits over here. I was gonna say the other joke is you
Spielberg
got
doesn't mean lookout, by the way.
I don't how would I know? I don't know German. Um the fucking William Hookins
Spielberg.
guy.
What does Spiel mean? Talk Mountain.
Is that what it is? Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't speak Spanish.
I'm gonna Google this. Um, but it's funny because you got a guy like what was that guy we were just talking about? William
Reeve Whitson.
no, the
Spain
guy who
Eugene
looked
Cesar.
the guy who looked like fat Richard Dreyfuss.
William Hootkins.
Yeah, so he gets all this bad shit that happened to him in his teens with fucking Oswald. And then they're like, and with these other guys, like Peter Greene, we were talking about before, he gets to be like the main villain in The Mask. He gets all these different roles in TV. And then this other guy, they're like, you get to be the fat guy who gets killed in Star Wars. And then you're like, I don't even think this was worth what I went through. Okay, I'm doing Google Translate. Oh, fuck. I'm in my brother's basement and the internet is so slow down here.
Why did they call him Porkins?
Because he's
It's
fat.
wild.
Because he was fat and they are mean. How do you spell Spielberg?
Really? SP Really?
S.
Spielberg.
Okay, that's what I had. I was just making sure. You don't have to. I just translate to Spielberg, apparently. Ah,
Yeah,
fuck
whatever.
you, Google.
That's because that's keyword hijacking. You just got the wrong result.
Here, how
Go a
about I
little deeper, you'll
separate
find
it?
the right one.
It means play mountain,
Play Mountain. Mm.
which is the worst of all
What?
possible mountains. If you're
Oh, wow.
talking in this context about
Mm.
15-year-old runaways who get to be like movie also starred in, are also starring.
Well, he had a strange career though, because he was heavily promoted and there was always this kind of weird buzz around him. And he made a very odd film called Clean Shaven.
Who,
Clean,
Spielberg?
no, Peter Greene.
Yeah, he did.
And
And like,
which was the idea with that film, if I recall, because it was a bit of an indie hit in the
hmm
early 90s film threat era. Um, and he's a schizophrenic. He plays a schizophrenic guy, but the film is made in such a way that you're sort of meant to experience his schizophrenic sort of perception of the world. Um, it's made by a guy called Lodge Kerrigan, who I think only went on to do like TV shows, but they were all, sort of national security state TV shows like Homeland
Oh
or
yeah.
The Americans, that kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
Shows that were entertaining as they may be were obvious State Department approved propaganda. 24, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just Googling the list of movies that this guy was in. What did you say? It was like Shaven or something?
Clean shaven.
What year did it come out?
I would say like 91, 92.
Dude, this guy's been in so many fucking movies. Jeez Louise.
Well, of course he was. He ate a Mexican's brain.
Oh yeah. I forgot about. Oh yeah, it came out 93. It came out the year before Pulp Fiction. Oh, he was in Judgment Night?
It's
Uh,
Judgment Night.
Judgment Night is the only reason that I remember it was like a throwaway white people get stuck in the hood and it's like a night of danger and suspense. But the reason it has any staying power in the cultural zeitgeist is because of the soundtrack took rock groups and mixed them with rap and like paired them with rap groups and they each did a song. And there's a song with Tom Petty and God, I can't remember. But Tom Petty has a song with like uh R&B group. They do
Well, we
like a
should,
version of
as
Free
you're
Falling.
doing your research here, let's just mark the passing of Dexter Wansell, the Philly-based record producer and synth pioneer who
Ooh.
worked with all sorts of amazing African American artists like Roy Ayers. He just passed away May 31st, and I know he was a big influence on MF Doom. And the only reason I bring that up is because my kids is super into MF Doom, and he's
Oh,
made
really?
me, yeah, and I'm like, wow, this is actually really good.
Okay, so I looked up the track list for Judgment Night, and
Yeah.
the Tom Petty song was with Teenage Fan Club, and then you have like fucking Helmet with House of Pain, Living Color with Run DMC, Biohazard and Onyx, like
So
Slayer and
what's the, what
Ice-T.
what's I don't really understand the strategy here. Teenage Fan Club is a bunch of white kids from Scotland doing
Is
rock
it?
music. They're a rock band.
I thought they were rap music.
Tom Petty was the
Oh, no, 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 no. It's
now deceased rock star who was the model for the Shroud of Turin.
okay, sorry. They're the rock band and De La Soul is the R&B band.
Yeah, it makes
And
more
they
sense.
covered a Tom Petty song. And then they have like I said, Slayer with Ice-T, Faith No More and Booyah Tribe, Sonic Youth and Cypress Hill, Mudhoney and Sir Mix-a-Lot, Dinosaur Jr. and Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Therapy and Joe and then Pearl Jam and Cypress Hill.
Hmm.
That's fucking, it's a good soundtrack. Movie, whatever. But the soundtrack is like, it's one of the best ever made.
Is he a lead in this film?
No, I don't know what he did in it. I
I
just
don't know if
saw
he
that
was
he
ever a
was,
lead. I mean, in Clean Shaven, he certainly was. But
yeah.
beyond that, I mean, and he was in, he's in those like sort of gritty, a lot of gritty New York area type
Yeah,
films,
he always plays like a mafia lieutenant, like
something like
a
that.
step under the dawn. He's
Hmm.
always like not, he's not a thug, but he's not the boss. He's always just like middle management for bad guys.
Ever see King of New York
No.
with Christopher Walken? No.
Christopher Walken, how are you? How are you?
So Christopher Walken's whole career, probably, I mean, he's very talented, and I always enjoy watching him. I think he might be a fairly degenerate human being. I don't know. No, he's not.
Eh,
He's a great guy.
yeah, you don't get
But
to be known as one of the Hollywood weird guys when you
but
go home and drink tea.
to quote Larry David, what
Yeah.
was he doing on that boat?
Nice. Do you want to end with that?
Well, I suppose.
It
Are we
is
just
it
gonna leave
is
it hanging?
noon. It is noon in BC land.
Yeah, yeah. I got another 5 minutes if you want. But then
I'll take
I got my
I'll
next
take all the time
11
I
hour
could get with
shift.
you. Oh, 11. Do you work for 11 hours?
Yeah, my shifts are 11 hours now.
Do you get good tips?
Good enough.
Do you just get a talk?
What do you mean?
Just talk with people, and that's like your fringe benefits is hearing cool stories about the war.
I actually feel like I know too much about too many people now.
That's why. Oh, going back to the recumbent bike thing. One of the selling factors is you look like such a dipshit asshole that strangers won't want to talk to you. And that makes me want to buy one because I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, but the universe seeks balance, Dale,
Yeah.
and it also means that other guys in recumbent bikes do want to talk to you.
Oh
Now you're
man.
now you're part of, now you're being invited to those parties.
Oh man, could you imagine? I bet those
No.
guys love dick and fart jokes. I bet they don't
You
take
think?
themselves
Oh,
too
I don't
seriously
see
at
them.
all.
I don't see them like that. I think
I
they're
was
very,
being
very, they're very
sarcastic.
okay.
I
I'm
feel
humor
like
impaired. I think they're very serious about everything.
I feel like they watch the worst movies. The ones that I look at and I'm like, that's homework. I'm not watching that.
They watch a movie like Oppenheimer and then call it a masterpiece.
Yeah. They're like the guys who, when the short list of movies nominated for Best Picture come out, they go, I have to watch all 10 of these. And I go, no, you don't.
Yeah,
They're all
that's
probably
exactly right.
shitty.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They have an opinion on Hamnet.
And the funniest thing is, those are the people that like get cinema and then they can't follow the plot line of Tenet. They're like, I don't know what's going on. And like Interstellar, like they think it's smart because they couldn't follow along. And you're like, how is this hard? He's behind the bookshelf pushing books out the whole time. It's just stupid.
It's
It's a
so stupid.
paradox.
It's so stupid. Do you know that I was at I told you this, didn't I? I was at the press conference for that movie.
I don't think you told me, but if you could tell me in the time you have left, let's go.
I was at the press conference for Interstellar. It was
Yeah.
screened at is it Mann's Chinese Theater? Used to be Grauman's. Anyway,
Now it's People's
on
Chinese Theater.
Sunset Sunset Boulevard? No, where is it? Hollywood Boulevard.
Ooh, in
Anyway, that
LA?
big famous theater, where you see the pictures of people lining up for Star Wars the day it opened outside that famous theater in
Yeah.
Hollywood. We saw it there. Matthew McConaughey did a speech, and then the next day they had the press conference. So it was him, Christopher Nolan, Jonathan Nolan, his wife, Christopher Nolan's wife, his producer. Um, Anne Hathaway was there. The red-haired lady that's a CIA agent.
Bryce Dallas Howard?
No, close, but no. She looks like fuck, what's her name? Jessica Chastain. Jessica Chastain.
Is she old as shit?
Jessica Chastise. And who else? Anyway, terrible film. It's interest. There's some great moments in it, but terrible film, really. And yeah, Christopher Nolan. I sat, this far away from those guys, and Matthew McConaughey was kind of cool. I watched him leave the conference with his holding his child's hand. I thought that was sweet.
Aw,
He's wearing these parachute pants, like up to his like fucking just under his nipples and cinched real tight with like a skinny little belt and a
his
brown
child or
bomber
him?
jacket. No, McConaughey. He was dressed. He just looked like a complete freak, but he pulled it off because he's Matthew McConaughey.
That's the problem. When you're that good looking, you wear whatever the fuck you want.
That's exactly true. And then when you have that much charisma, and then the other who else was there was some particle physicist, Kip or Kit something, because they got all sciencey at this like American and like a
Oh, nice. They should make a podcast
no.
since brothers make podcasts.
All right. Yeah, anyway, not a good film. Not a good film.
This
But I like
chick
the
is like
robot. The robot was cool.
Jessica Chastain is like the ginger version of Anne Hathaway.
Kind of,
Her
yeah.
her mouth
And,
is too big and people tell you she's attractive and you're like, well, she's a girl and there's nothing unattractive
well,
about her. So I
she's got
guess she's
an
attractive.
amazing body.
Does she? It
But
looks just like a I'm not fat, I work out body.
speaking of my daughter, she's calling me. I can't take this call right now. But Jessica Chastain only makes Pentagon affiliated movies.
Nice.
We've lost you.
I just had a full mental breakdown because I was trying to think of I just decided 2 days ago what the hottest actress ever was, and now I forgot her name. Because like you know how I have like probably brain cancer because I can't think of the like female actress I think is the hottest one ever. I just can't think of her name. And then the chick from who
Clara,
starred in what?
Clara Bow?
No, I don't know who that is. Uh the chick that was the
Right,
one that was married to Brad Pitt for so long.
right.
She,
Angelina Jolie.
yes, Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider is the hottest actress of all time. No, I am not taking any cons or accusations or arguments against this. I just decided 2 days ago on a whim. Anyways, my whole joke was, yeah, she's got an okay body, but she's no fucking girl from that movie that I just mentioned.
And with that, I don't know how outraged we got this week. Not
You never
terribly.
get outraged.
I was outraged just before we started.
Yes, you were, apparently.
Uh,
I was gonna say I might be a little amped up this whole podcast because I'm on vacation, so I had a full sugar Coke right before we started.
Oh, bless your heart. That's great. Can you reveal your location? I guess not. Hey, you probably don't want to do that.
Alberta,
That's it, just Alberta.
Calgary, Alberta.
Oh, Calgary. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we were gonna talk about Danielle's. Okay, I just want to say something. The funniest thing that's happened in the last week was Danielle Smith finding out that separating from Canada would cost a whole bunch of money, and now she's against it. If you haven't, if you follow me on Facebook, I shared it. But if you don't follow me on Facebook and you're somehow still watching a podcast that's me talking for an hour, just Google it. It's the funniest fucking thing. She's like, yeah, it's gonna cost money to fucking shore up the border, and then we have to pay for this and we have to pay for that. And it's gonna end up being like $500 million. I don't think we thought about this. And you're like, you fucking idiot, bitch. So I've been saying for the whole time. Fuck you, Danielle Smith. You're dumber than Dale.
I think the point is the point is not to do it, but to
Yeah.
just get people amped up about doing it.
Oh yeah, so she could like fucking gut and privatize the province while we're all fucking paying attention to that.
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know anything anymore. See, this is what I'm trying to say. I have no certainty. I have
Ah,
hunches.
honestly, you're the smartest man I know just because of how many names you can remember when you're like, "Oh yeah, I read about this years ago." And then you fucking know the coroner's name. It's like, "Okay, guy, you just remembered obscure names from historical facts for years."
That
I
doesn't make
can't
me
even remember
smart.
my favorite actress who I think's the hottest of all time. You know that
Works for the
aphasia
UN.
thing where you like can't
Angelina Jolie works for the
yeah,
UN. She's the UN envoy for old.
tits, which
So
she had removed, so she swooped up above her head. It used to stop her tits and how much spooked up she was, but then she had them
this
removed
might
and
be
it
my
just
last
kept going up.
episode.
I'm just happy you lasted this long, Adrian. It's been a lot of fun.
it has been good. It's been a ride. Anyway.
I'll never find someone who can remember names like you.
All right. Well, I should get off to the Legion
Okay.
where I
Until
can be
next
an
time,
aging white guy.
who's getting
Oh,
smarter?
stay spooked up.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Ooh, I'm gonna name the podcast that. Stay spooked up. That's a good one.
So long, everyone. Oh, say hi to your
Bye.
brother for me. I don't know him, but I'm sure he's great.
He's all right.
And your sister too.
He's like me, but thinner and smarter, so take from that what you will.